November 18th, 2025. A viewer monitoring NASA's ISS livestream noticed something massive drifting into frame. A dark, triangular object. Slowly moving across the screen, no explanation from NASA. According to the witness, the stream was abruptly cut shortly after the object moved out of view. Unsure of what he'd just seen, he quickly captured a screen recording and shared it online. The 1-minute clip shows the ISS camera pointed toward Earth when the large triangular object enters from the side of the frame. Seconds later, the object gradually fades from view, almost as if it were cloaking itself. Roughly 15 seconds later, it becomes visible again before eventually drifting out of frame completely. As the footage circulated, speculation erupted across social media. Some argued the object was nothing more than city lights on Earth's surface being distorted by the camera, but many dismissed that explanation immediately. City lights wouldn't suddenly disappear and then reappear in a different position. They're stationary, fixed to the ground. Others pointed out another major red flag: the live stream, abruptly cutting shortly after the sighting. That detail made the whole situation even more suspicious. NASA has a history of ending streams when unusual objects appear. It's happened multiple times over the years. Enough times that it's become a pattern. With theories ranging from reflections to genuine spacecraft, no consensus has been reached. Despite intense debate, the triangular object captured on the ISS livestream remains unexplained. 2. Chubut, Argentina, the diamond-shaped craft. These pictures were taken in 2023, but only began gaining serious attention when they started circulating online in 2025. Captured in El Escorial, Argentina, a tiny town with fewer than 50 residents, the images show a strange object flying over the area. The photos depict an object that is clearly a UFO, yet its shape doesn't fully match the classic flying saucers commonly seen online. Instead, it appears narrow and elongated, almost like a stretched diamond. It has no visible windows, emits no lights, maintains a smooth, uniform surface as it hovers above the landscape. Adding to the mystery, reports surfaced claiming that new sightings were rumored in the same region in late 2025, though no visual evidence of these incidents has ever been released. One interesting aspect of this sighting is the similarity between this object and the one photographed in the Calvine UFO case, commonly referred to as one of the most relevant UFO pictures ever taken. Because of this, some believe the two sightings may be connected, possibly depicting the same craft. The incident drew enough attention for local authorities to announce they would seek expert analysis to better examine the photographs. But so far, no concrete explanation has been publicly released. The object spotted over El Escorial remains unexplained. 3. Northeast Washington. The forest laser lights. November 11th, 2025. Deep in the forests of Northeast Washington. According to the witness, they were driving along a remote road when they suddenly noticed strange lights glowing between the trees. There was no sound, no aircraft visible in the sky, and the nearest road was the one they were already on. Along with the footage, they shared the exact coordinates of the location, revealing that the sighting occurred far from populated areas deep in the woods on the outskirts of Washington. Although the witness watched the lights from a distance for several minutes, they unfortunately chose not to approach the area to get a clearer video. It's worth noting that this event closely resembles another incident previously covered, where a UFO approached a tree and appeared to scan it with laser-like beams, creating a visual effect very similar to what we see here. The lights pulse, shift colors, move in coordinated patterns that don't match any known natural phenomenon. Some online users speculated that the lights could have simply come from a rave in the woods, but once the coordinates were checked, that theory became less convincing. The area is extremely remote. No signs of music, no people, no nearby access points, making such an explanation unlikely. With no follow-up investigation, no additional witnesses, and the original poster never returning to the site, this unusual incident remains unexplained. 4. Houston, Texas. The golf course probe. When this footage first surfaced, most people didn't think much of it. But after seeing how many people were talking about it, it became clear there was something more going on. November 17th, 2025. Houston, Texas. The witness captured the entire incident completely by accident while golfing. During a normal swing, his driver suddenly struck something airborne that wasn't the ball. In the video, you can clearly see a small dark object speeding across the fairway before the club hits it on the follow-through. Even the audio captures two separate impacts. First, the sound of the ball, then the distinct hit against the unknown entity. The object appears dark and oval-shaped. moving in a smooth, controlled trajectory with no wings or visible rotors. And after being struck, it kept going without changing its path at all, which is exactly why many people dismiss the possibility that it was a bird. Birds don't maintain perfect trajectory after being hit by a golf club traveling over 100 miles per hour. After the incident, the witness inspected his driver and found a dent and a stress crack on the carbon fiber, confirming that whatever he hit was real and solid. Online debate exploded. Viewers suggesting all kinds of possibilities. Some proposed a microdrone. Others suggested a classified military object not meant to be noticed. But many leaned towards something less mundane, the idea that it was a UFO probe, especially given the many similar sightings reported over the past year. Small, dark, oval-shaped objects moving at high speeds with no visible propulsion. They've been reported across multiple states, multiple countries. Some researchers believe these could be reconnaissance drones from a non-human intelligence, studying us, collecting data. Despite all the speculation this video went through, none of it was enough to offer a definitive explanation. The object's nature remains a complete mystery. 5. Amberson, Pennsylvania. WDO. The void opening lights. November 16th, 2025. The quiet town of Amberson, Pennsylvania. According to the witness, they were driving when they noticed 4 lights shooting across the sky before suddenly coming to a complete stop. Curious, they pulled over and began recording. The lights flashed in different colors, then separated, and according to the witness, appeared to open some kind of void in the sky. However, the witness didn't capture the moment when the lights allegedly formed the void, leading many viewers to remain skeptical of that part of the account. But here's where things get interesting. The witness also reported losing cell service. Their GPS unexpectedly rerouted them down random dead-end roads. Electronic interference is a commonly reported phenomenon during UFO encounters. Compasses spin, radios cut out, car engines die. In response to this video, 2 comments stood out. One from a user claiming he had seen an object just like this in Cincinnati 2 weeks prior to the Amberson sighting. In his account, the object behaved the same way, 2 lights suddenly becoming 4. Another comment read, "I work in Lackawaxen, and they have followed me a bunch of times over the river into New York. Hovered over my house real low. I think they pick random people for surveillance drills. Pick a random person, follow them. See how much data they can gather or who knows what. I don't think I was targeted, per se. More like randomly chosen." That comment is chilling, because it suggests these objects aren't just passive observers, they're actively tracking individuals. Back to the Amberson sighting, a few users argued that the object was simply a drone equipped with RGB lights. However, many pushed back on that idea, noting that the lights appeared much larger than what a typical drone would produce, but with the footage being only a few seconds long and containing no audio, no detailed investigation could be conducted. Users remain split between calling the object a UFO or a surveillance drone. No definitive explanation has ever been given for this incident. Bonus sighting. Junction City, Oregon. The disappearing saucer. December 18th, 2024. But it didn't surface online until late 2025. Junction City, Oregon. A small town near Eugene Airport. In the video, a massive saucer-shaped object can be seen against the night sky. The object appears stationary, does not move or rotate during the recording. Several lights are visible, but they don't behave like standard aircraft lights. They pulse irregularly, shift intensity, no recognizable pattern. After observing it briefly, the witness went inside to get another person to look at it as well. But when they returned, moments later, less than 60 seconds, the object was completely gone. Once the video began circulating online, the most common explanation proposed was that the object was simply an air traffic control tower. However, that theory quickly fell apart for several reasons. For instance, the airport beacon seen in the footage should be illuminating the base of the structure if it were actually a tower. There was also a noticeable absence of lights, where a control tower's balcony would normally be. Control towers have very specific lighting configurations: navigation lights, obstacle lights, interior cabin lights. None of those match what's seen in this footage. With the control tower explanation effectively ruled out, and no alternative theories gaining traction, the video was left without a clear answer. Since the original poster hasn't shared additional footage or returned to the location to investigate further, the incident remains unresolved. Bonus sighting 2. Waddle, Arizona. The 40-minute hover. December 1st, 2025. Waddle, Arizona. According to the witness, the incident began when they stepped outside at night and noticed a bright yellow light hovering above a nearby hill. What immediately stood out was the fact that the light didn't move at all, remaining in place for nearly 40 minutes. Rather than appearing as a sharp point of light, the object looks slightly stretched or elongated. Throughout the video, a commercial plane flies above the object, making it clear the bright light isn't just a plane heading toward a nearby airport. 2 additional lights are visible at the top of the hill. But these appear to be fixed at ground level and are consistent with street lamps, making them easy to rule out. Unfortunately, there isn't much more to work with. The original post containing the video and discussion was deleted shortly after it was shared, making it impossible to gather follow-up details. While the witness stated that the object was visible for around 40 minutes, they never explained how it eventually disappeared. Did it shoot straight up? Fade out gradually? Blink out of existence? We'll never know. Even after extensive online debate, skeptics continued to argue that the object was a street lamp, while others remained convinced it was a genuine UFO. Either way, with no additional footage or clarification from the witness, the incident remains unresolved. Bonus sighting 4. Valle del Cauca, Colombia. The metallic sphere, double sighting. This case is particularly interesting because it involves 2 separate sightings that occurred in the same location only hours apart. August 28, 2025. Valle del Cauca, Colombia. A man who was out jogging noticed a metallic sphere moving through the sky and managed to record it on his phone. The object appeared to drift around the area before disappearing behind a hill. Curious and clearly unsettled by what he had just seen, the witness climbed the hill, hoping to find the object again, but there was no trace of it. The sphere had vanished completely. No sound, no trail, nothing. Just a few hours later, in that same area, a second and far clearer sighting was recorded. This time, a group of paragliders captured close-up footage of the same object moving through the air nearby. Unlike the first video, this footage clearly shows the object's reflective surface and smooth spherical shape as it moves through the sky. The sphere appears to be perfectly symmetrical, no visible seams, no panels, no markings of any kind, just a flawless metallic surface that catches and reflects sunlight in ways that seem almost unnatural. The paragliders described feeling unnerved by how silently the object moved. No engine noise, no propeller sounds, no audible propulsion system whatsoever. It simply glided through the air as if weightless, maintaining a consistent altitude and speed that defied conventional aerodynamics. One of the paragliders attempted to approach the object more closely, but as he maneuvered toward it, the sphere seemed to sense his presence and began accelerating away, not gradually but instantly, as if responding to his intention rather than his physical movement. This intelligent response pattern has been reported in numerous other sphere sightings worldwide, suggesting these objects possess some form of awareness or sensory capability that allows them to detect and react to human observers. Sightings of similar metallic orbs became increasingly common throughout 2025 and were widely referred to online as bogospheres, with reports emerging from multiple countries ranging from the Americas to parts of abogospheres, Asia, all describing nearly identical objects. The phenomenon reached such widespread attention that dedicated online communities formed specifically to track and document these sphere sightings. Witnesses from Mexico, Brazil, Peru, Japan, South Korea, and even parts of Europe began sharing footage of remarkably similar objects. The consistency across reports is striking. Most describe the spheres as being between 3 to 6 feet in diameter, perfectly round or slightly oblate, highly reflective, often appearing silver or chrome-like in sunlight. Movement patterns are also consistent. The spheres typically hover or drift slowly before suddenly accelerating to incredible speeds. They make no sound, leave no exhaust trail, show no visible means of propulsion. Some witnesses reported that the spheres appeared to be scanning their environment, slowly rotating while hovering in place as if surveying the landscape below. Others described the objects responding to human presence, changing direction when approached, maintaining specific distances from observers, or even following individuals for extended periods before departing. Skeptics suggested that these spheres could be a hoax involving a metallic object suspended from drones by thin strings. This theory gained some traction initially, because weather balloons and other lighter-than-air objects can appear spherical and metallic when reflecting sunlight. However, both the ground footage and the paraglider recordings show no visible support above the orb, making that explanation difficult to support. Additionally, the acceleration patterns observed don't match anything achievable by current drone technology. The spheres move from stationary hovering to high-speed departure in fractions of a second, generating g-forces that would destroy any known drone. Some researchers propose the objects could be advanced atmospheric probes deployed by governments or private research organizations. But no agency has claimed responsibility for these devices, and their proliferation across so many countries simultaneously seems unlikely for classified technology. Another theory suggests the spheres could be some form of plasma phenomenon, ball lightning, or similar atmospheric electrical effects. But ball lightning typically appears during thunderstorms and lasts only seconds. These metallic spheres appear in clear weather and can remain visible for extended periods. The Valle del Cauca case is particularly compelling because it provides multiple angles of the same object from different witnesses using different recording devices at different times of day. The jogger's footage, while less clear, establishes the object's presence and behavior in the morning hours. The paraglider's footage, captured just hours later, provides detailed visual confirmation of the same object's physical characteristics. This dual witness corroboration makes hoaxing significantly more difficult to explain. For this to be fabricated, multiple unconnected individuals would need to coordinate their stories and footage, a conspiracy that becomes increasingly implausible given the witnesses didn't know each other. Some UFO researchers believe these metallic spheres represent a new class of UFO probe, smaller reconnaissance devices deployed by larger craft to survey and collect data about Earth's environment and population. This theory suggests the spheres could be autonomous or remotely controlled surveillance units, gathering information about human activity, geographical features, or atmospheric conditions. The fact that these objects appear most frequently in remote areas, near bodies of water, or in regions with minimal human development, supports this reconnaissance hypothesis. If these devices are collecting data, it would make sense for them to focus on undisturbed natural environments where baseline ecological information could be gathered without human interference contaminating the data. Despite widespread discussion and countless theories, no definitive explanation has emerged. Government agencies have remained largely silent on the bogosphere phenomenon. When pressed, officials typically dismiss the sightings as misidentified conventional objects or decline to comment on ongoing investigations. This official silence only fuels further speculation. If these objects were easily explainable weather balloons or commercial drones, why wouldn't authorities simply say so? The lack of official explanation suggests either genuine uncertainty about the object's nature or deliberate information suppression, neither of which provides much comfort to witnesses and researchers seeking answers. While some believe these objects could be some form of UFO probe, nothing has been confirmed. What remains undeniable is the sheer volume of sightings. Hundreds of reports, dozens of videos, multiple witness corroborations. The Valle del Cauca double sighting stands as one of the most credible examples in this ongoing wave of metallic sphere encounters. As of now, both sightings from Valle del Cauca remain unexplained. The metallic sphere, or spheres, if there were multiple, continue to defy conventional explanation. Whether these objects represent advanced human technology, natural phenomena we don't yet understand, or something genuinely non-human in origin, they demand serious scientific investigation rather than dismissal or mockery. CTE pattern emerges. 5 sightings, multiple countries, similar characteristics, triangular craft that cloak, diamond-shaped objects with no propulsion, laser scanning lights in remote forests, small probes moving at impossible speeds, multicolored lights opening voids in the sky, and metallic spheres appearing globally with no explanation. The pattern is clear. Something is happening, and it's accelerating. Whether these objects are classified military technology or something far stranger, one thing is certain: 2026 is shaping up to be a year of unprecedented UFO activity. Which sighting shocked you most? Drop your thoughts below, and subscribe for more unexplained encounters as they emerge.